Sup you beautiful people. Hope you've had a fantastic day. Welcome back to another new episode of What If Deku joined the League of Villains. If you guys enjoy this what if, comment down below and let me know. And go ahead and check out other what ifs in the channel after watching this video. Before we get into it though, don't forget to subscribe and leave a like, and also share this video with your friends. So let's start this video. UA Principal's office. It was just one surprise after another for Nezu. First, several students of his were kidnapped and returned. Next, he reunites with his former torturer, bringing back many painful and traumatic memories. Then there was the assault on the villain hospital and the breakout at Tartarus prison. And now there was this, one of the police officials paying him a visit. Good evening Principal Nezu, the official greeted. Sorry to drop by unannounced, but there is something I need to discuss with you. It concerns that special request you are planning on making. Nezu raised an eyebrow. How do you know about that? I hadn't even filled out the paperwork yet, Nezu questioned. The official chuckled. We are the police. Requests like the one you're making usually go through us, before or after, he explained. Nezu internally sighed. He had never made something so obvious before. Due to recent events, we've decided to approve of it, the official stated. Nezu's eyes widened. So much for a large amount of convincing he needed to do. May I ask why? Nezu asked. Not that I'm ungrateful or anything, but still, it seems a bit odd for you to decide this out of the blue. The official's face turned serious. Up until now, there have been several attempts on his life, mainly because certain individuals knew where he was. So, this is sort of a protection detail, the official explained. His life was in danger before, but now it is in even more. A few hours ago, the villain Afo was found dead in his cell. Nezu tensed. He wasn't expecting to hear that. With his death, nothing will stop certain individuals in the league from trying to kill him. That's what we've learned anyway, the official continued. So, by transferring him here, no one will know to look for him. Nezu nodded in agreement. Furthermore, having this boy on the side of the heroes would be better than the villains. I've seen his notebooks. What he wrote about quirks, they aren't something to look down on, the official warned. We don't know anything about his experiments, but he may open up about them in time. He is also a skilled fighter, so don't let your guard down. Quirkless or not, he's still dangerous. What class do you intend to put him in? Class 1A, Nezu replied. Izuku Midoriya has already established relationships with some of our students in that class, so it's for the best. There may be some trouble with Katsuki Bakugo, given their history, but we can handle that. Truth be told, he had been thinking about transferring Izuku Midoriya into the hero course for quite some time. He thought he had potential after saving Uraraka. He knew he wasn't a bad person after his encounter with Iida. However, the incident with Ashido was the final factor that led him to make this decision. That and he wanted to protect him from atrocity, since he knew what that monster did to quirkless people. You do that, the official said. By the way, since this was a police decision, the transfer will happen regardless of the other staff members' approval. We can assist in informing parents since they likely wouldn't take it well that a villain was attending the same school as their children. I think you can handle informing the students on your own though. Of course, that would be most helpful. We'll only be informing the students in Class 1A though since there's no need for the rest of the school to know, Nezu explained. Thank you for your assistance. No problem, the official said before leaving. With his departure, Nezu looked towards the meeting in an hour's time. All the staff would be there. He knew that not all of them would be okay about it, but now they had no choice. Nezu selected Class 1A for the stated reasons, but also because he believed Aizawa was the best choice in handling Izuku. All Might would be there too. He had been discharged from the hospital. He wondered what his reaction would be like. Razor had contacted Butler to gain access to the footage from the hospital. She also requested a leave of absence for an extended period, which came as a major surprise to them, since she usually took on whatever job was available. That and it was very rare for her to request something, very rare. She watched his fight against that metallic being. He did well to hold his own. The detectives weren't much use in that situation. Izuku's mother, Razor, had to give her credit for her bravery. She really did love her son, as she was willing to put her life on the line. She hadn't been able to capture the rest of it, but it was obvious Izuku's group had won. That wasn't what had her attention though. What had her attention was the moment when Inko was about to be killed. The way Izuku reacted. Well, it was quite natural, it was the way he had done it. When Izuku saw that his mother was about to die, his eyes turned bright. He moved with speed and strength that could only be described as inhuman. Some may have interpreted it as a quirk awakening, but she knew otherwise. She has seen this before, but very rarely. Humans these days are focused on quirks alone. They had forgotten how powerful they could truly be, well most had. What Izuku had done was brief, but it had happened. Razor always thought he had potential, but for him to have shown signs so soon. A state of awakening, Razor murmured. You continue to impress me, my young student. At the villain hospital, Izuku had been in the storage for a few hours now. He was curled up in a ball in the center with a bunch of broken objects scattered around the room. He had stopped crying and was just sitting there motionless, his face buried into his legs. He was still trying to process what had happened, but no matter how hard he tried it was pointless. The fact that sensei was gone forever weighed heavily on his mind. A knock on the door brought him back to reality. Izuku, his mother called out. Can I come in? Izuku thought about this for a moment. He really didn't want to talk with anyone. On the other hand, he really didn't want to be on his own. No one's stopping you, he replied emotionlessly. He had never spoken that way to his mother before, but then again, something like this had never happened to him. Inko understood this. The moment she entered, she moved towards her son and wrapped her arms around him. Sweetheart, I'm so sorry, Inko said. She hadn't known the man, but she knew he was important to her son. She knew exactly how he felt. She had lost friends and relatives that were important to her. I just can't believe he's gone, Izuku vented. After everything that's happened. After everything I've been through. He's gone, just like that. Inko hugged her son tighter. This situation reminded her of the time when Izuku was outed as quirkless. The despair he went through because of it. I don't know what I'm supposed to do now, Izuku admitted. Inko was silent. She had been in this situation before herself. When her parents died in an accident when she was in her teens, she had thought the exact same things. However, she had friends to help her get through it. They made her realize what her parents would have wanted her to do. And now it was her turn. You live, she said simply. Izuku looked up at her. Inko could see tear stains across his face. He also appeared to be rather exhausted. I didn't know Afo as you did, so I can't form a perfect opinion of him, Inko told her son. But I do know he cared about you, as you did with him. I don't know what he would say in this situation, but I do know he would want you to live. He would want you to keep moving forward. Even if you don't know the path you're meant to follow, he would want you to continue living. That's what I believe. Izuku stared at her in shock. He stared at the ground and contemplated her words. Deep down he knew she was right. That is what Sensei would have wanted him to do. Even if he didn't know how. Sensei would want him to press forward. Now knowing this, Izuku returned his mother's embrace. Thanks, Mom, he said. I needed that. No problem, sweetie. I've been in the same position as you have. Believe me, losing someone you love is never easy, and it's something you never get used to, Inko returned. Izuku didn't respond to that. He knew about the people his mother had lost in her life. While growing up, she had confided in him a lot about her life, like how she became friends with Mitsuki. Although, she had avoided talking about his father, since it was a painful subject for her, and by extension himself. Their discussion was cut short by Namasa entering. I'm sorry to interrupt, but we need to talk, he informed them. Inko groaned. What's happened now? If it's something that concerns my son, can't you leave it until later? He's been through a lot. And I sympathize with that, I do, he countered. But this can't wait. Inko was about to protest when Izuku stood up. He offered his hand to help her up. Mom, it's fine. Whatever it is, I'd rather get it done and out of the way, he assured her. Realizing he was going to go through with it, Inko took his hand and stood up. Dabi was still outside, much to Izuku's surprise and relief. Gunhead and Manuel were also present, probably to keep an eye on Dabi. Manuel had returned after sorting out most of the security. Namasa led them all to an office. Ryo wasn't there surprisingly, probably because he was injured the most during that fight. There were two others in the room. An officer with a cat-like appearance, and an important-looking official with a dog-like appearance. Good evening, the one with the dog appearance greeted. Dabi, Inko Midoriya, and you Izuku Midoriya. I've heard quite a bit about you. My name is Kenji Tsuragami. I am the chief of the police force. The officer here, in case you're wondering, is Sansa Tamikawa. Dabi was mildly surprised that he was acknowledged by this man. He, along with the other two, was curious as to why the chief of police of all people was here. What could have happened that brought this on? Inko started fidgeting nervously, a traitor's son inherited but didn't do as much nowadays. I don't mean to be rude, but why did you call us here? She asked. Did something serious happen? In a manner of speaking, Kenji said softly. It's been decided where your son shall be transferred, Mrs. Midoriya. That surprised her and the other two. Why would that be so important? Izuku wondered. Is it some juvenile prison or is it one abroad? Or perhaps even a hidden one? Also, why wouldn't they say where Dabi would be transferred? Noticing their confusion, Kenji decided to be bluntly honest. Due to you not committing any serious acts of crime, as well as helping out students from UA on numerous occasions, it has been decided that you will remain in the custody of UA within the hero course. It was Nezu who was going to request this, but due to recent events, the police officials have decided to transfer you there immediately, Kenji explained in one go. The response he got was silence. Izuku took some time to process what he had heard. Dabi and Inko were both stunned. Of all the things they were expecting, this was not one of them. Even the heroes were surprised. Izuku quickly regained his composure. Is this some kind of joke? Because if it is, I'm not laughing, he stated firmly. No joke, Kenji countered. You are to be transferred into UA's hero course. You will also be living in the dorms of UA, as it is currently being converted to a boarding school. The class you will be placed in is 1A since there is a vacant spot, and you have already built up some relationships there. This sounded completely absurd to Izuku. They wanted him, a villain, to attend the top school for heroes. Did they seriously think he could just switch sides that easily? What angered him the most about it was that it was Class 1A, it was Bakugo's class. Sure, there were some people in there he liked, but he was there also. In all honesty, he would much rather be in prison. No? I can't agree to this, Inko stated. Kenji raised an eyebrow. Namasa wasn't surprised. He knew exactly why she didn't want her son going to UA. I'm afraid it's already been decided, Kenji replied. But why UA? Or better yet, why Class 1A, Inko countered. Surely there are other classes you could put him in. She's got a point, Dabi piped up. Why put him in the same class as Katsuki Bakugo? In case you forgot, the two don't exactly have a positive relationship. And that's because of half the shit that guy put him through. Manuel was confused by what he meant. Gun had understood though. He had been listening in on their conversation earlier. When he heard the things that boy had gone through in his life, he couldn't help but feel sympathy for him. He too didn't think that putting the two of them in the same class together would end well. For the same reasons I just stated, Kenji explained. I'm sorry, but that's just the way things are. If it means anything, you won't be on the same floor as him in the living space provided by UA. That didn't mean anything at all. Izuku just stood there with an unreadable expression. Right now, he was cursing very existence. Just when he thought today couldn't get any worse. I'm guessing I don't have any say in this, he said. No, the police chief replied. It was an official decision made by us police. How are you going to handle students and their parents? I doubt they'll be happy that a villain is attending the same school as their children, Izuku stated. I and UA staff will be informing them. The students won't be told until their turn in 2 weeks though, and your status will be limited to Class 1A's knowledge, Kenji explained. I don't think you'll go boasting about what you did before attending to other students, will you? Izuku scowled. In all honesty, he would much rather avoid talking with people altogether. What's going to happen to Dabi? He asked. He's going to be detained for a while, Kenji answered honestly. Depending on how cooperative he is, he may be released within a few weeks. He hasn't committed any major crimes, barring the kidnapping, and did fight to defend some civilians here. Dabi wanted to say he had only done it because he liked Deku, and it was self-defense, but it probably wouldn't have done him any good. So, he just kept his mouth shut and listened. You two can stay in contact if you'd like. If that makes it more bearable, Kenji continued. Why is this happening to me exactly? Why am I not being shifted off to prison, a place I'd much rather prefer, instead? Izuku asked, irritated. To keep you safe. Given recent events and truths, we've deemed UA as the safest place for you, because it's the last place anyone would find you. You weren't aware of this, but according to our sources, a villain by the name of Atrocity was trying to kill you. Considering what happened here, it's likely he'll try again, Kenji told the teenager. Izuku was surprised at that information. He hadn't known it was Atrocity trying to kill him before. If he had to guess what it was about, it was most likely because he had freed Mina and was quirkless. He still wasn't happy about it. That left just one option. Dabi, he started. Know what you're gonna ask, and the answer is no. I am not going to burn you alive, or in any way, Dabi stated firmly. I get you're upset, but that's no excuse to do that. The people in the room didn't know whether to be amused or disturbed by what Izuku wanted. Inko wasn't surprised Dabi had figured out what Izuku was thinking. Her son had always been easy to read. It was nice to see that part of him hadn't changed. Izuku sighed in defeat. When am I going to be transferred? He asked sullenly. He knew there was no way out of this, so he may as well accept it and figure out what to do later. Within 2 weeks, Kenji admitted. You will be allowed to return home to select what you'd like to bring, of course. Izuku flinched. Home. The place where he grew up. He never thought he'd return there, for obvious reasons. And the idea of going back scared him for some reason. Since I can't back out of this, can I make one request? Izuku asked. Kenji raised an eyebrow. And what would that be? Woof. Woof? Izuku thought. Well, he's a dog, so I guess it makes sense. I know you raided my apartment. Did you by any chance come across a black outfit with a helmet? It's the one I used as my outfit when I went on a rare field mission, he asked politely. Kenji seemed to understand what he was asking. If you'd like to use that as a hero costume, by all means do. But only after we've examined it, he explained. Izuku nodded in understanding. He still felt depressed, however. Any more questions? Woof. Kenji asked. Just one. I've been through a lot these past few days and I was just wondering. In this hospital, is there a large flight of stairs I could throw myself down? Izuku asked seriously. No one dared to answer that question. UA's staff room. Nezu had just finished explaining Izuku's sudden transfer to UA. As expected, most of the staff weren't happy. Some were unsure. All Might, who had gotten permission from the hospital to attend, was shocked. He had hoped Midoriya would get off lightly, but he hadn't expected this. While it would be good for the boy, All Might was slightly nervous about seeing him again, considering how the boy currently felt about him. Sir, are sure this is a good idea? Mick asked. Whether you all like it or not, it will happen. A police official came here earlier and announced he would be transferred here, Nezu justified. The teachers still didn't agree with it. Won't this be dangerous for the students? 13 asked. They have dealt with villains before. Also, he has already forged several relationships with them, so it should be easy for him to get along with them. More than that, our intelligence says Midoriya isn't hostile unless of course he's provoked or it's with Bakugo, Nezu explained. Considering what type of person Bakugo was made them uneasy. Racer, how do you feel about this? It's a class he's being put in, Mick asked his friend. Class 1A's teacher wore his usual stoic expression. He looked uninterested, but it was the opposite. If he's being transferred without say, then there's nothing I can do about it. I'll keep an eye on him to make sure he doesn't try anything, Aizawa stated. If he uses his quirk in a way I don't like, I'll erase it and subdue him. Speaking of which, what is his quirk? I don't think you said. Nezu didn't respond immediately. All Might and Recovery Girl didn't reply either. The three of them knew they would all be shocked when they found out. Midoriya doesn't have a quirk actually. He's quirkless, Nezu said loudly enough for all of them to hear. There was silence. People had looks of surprise and disbelief. This is the same person who defeated Bakugo and survived an assault from Nomu and Hosu. Midnight said. Yes, it is, Nezu replied. You don't have to believe me, but that's the truth. They all looked uncertain. The idea that a quirkless person could defeat Bakugo wasn't very realistic. They didn't hate the quirkless, but they didn't believe something like this was possible. Aizawa was a different story. Then he must be highly proficient in hand-to-hand combat, as well as versed in the use of weaponry, he said. Indeed, he is, Nezu said. He's also quite intelligent, having done both science experiments and quirk analysis for the League. I see, Aizawa agreed. Unlike most, he didn't underestimate quirkless individuals. Quirks weren't the only things that could make a person dangerous. What they were capable of doing also added to it. It wouldn't be such a bad thing, All Might spoke up, catching everyone's attention. He may be a villain, but he has performed some heroic acts. All Might has a point. He did defend our students on 3 occasions, Cementus reasoned. Having someone as gifted as him on the side of heroes might not be such a bad idea, Ectoplasm added. Though that really depends on whether he wants to become a hero or not. Whether he does or not is entirely up to him. However, his being here is mainly a safety precaution for him. He has been targeted several times in the past and will be unless he remains hidden, Nezu explained. I assume you all heard about the assault on the villain hospital earlier today. Everyone nodded. All Might was frustrated that he hadn't been able to do anything about it since he was asleep in bed. During that time, a mass breakout at Tartarus prison took place, wherein all of the inmates escaped, Nezu told them. The entire staff were stunned by that piece of information. Tartarus prison was one of the hardest places to get into in Japan. Whoever broke in must have planned it carefully and was quite powerful. All Might had different thoughts. If they all got away, then that means he did as well. Damn it, and after everything I went through to capture him, he internally cursed. The one exception was Afo, who was found dead in his cell, Nezu continued. The staff froze. They hadn't expected to hear that. It had a stronger impact on All Might. He's gone, just like that, he thought. He didn't understand why, but he didn't feel anger or hatred towards his nemesis at that point. Instead, he felt nothing. With his death, villains within the League will be after Izuku Midoriya more than ever now. I understand you all don't like it, and the situation is dangerous, but it is going to happen regardless of what you think. So please try to deal with it, Nezu begged. The staff didn't have an argument to make after that. Nezu's office. Well, that went better than I thought it would, Nezu said. Yes, it could have gone much worse, Chiyo agreed. You're lucky they didn't argue with you. Well, mostly. The sun burned through the window as it had begun to set, signaling the end of the day. And what a day it had been. So much had happened, not just today, but over the past couple of days. Nezu, there's something I wanted to mention to you earlier, but it wasn't the right time, Chiyo said seriously. It's about Shoto Todoroki. Nezu looked at her concerned. Did something happen? Chiyo stared at the floor. When I was treating him after the training camp, I noticed he had several injuries. At first, I thought they were from the villains, but some of them were like that for a while. He possessed several bruises, a broken rib, and some burn marks. He had some of those bruises back when he competed in the sports festival. Her expression darkened. I have a very good idea where they came from. Nezu's face contorted into anger. He also knew where he had gotten them from. We need to hurry with the transformation of UA into a boarding school, Nezu stated. It'll be best for everyone, and safer. Within the following 2 weeks, UA had been successfully converted into a boarding school. Nezu had successfully managed to convince parents to allow Izuku to attend. Though they had their reservations at first, it was a mixture of Mina, Katsuki, and Achakos. She had finally told them, parents who vouched for him. That ultimately convinced them. Though they did want him to be watched closely. Endeavor was busy with hair work, so he didn't attend, thankfully. Izuku returned to his old home for the first time in so long. Much to his surprise, everything was as he'd left it about a year ago. His room still looked the same. It felt strange seeing the posters of All Might, but he didn't let it bother him. He just grabbed what he needed and exited the room. For the past 2 weeks, he had been detained. He had mourned Defo's death. Whether it had been made public knowledge or not, he did not know. He did know that he missed the man, in the same way he had missed his mother. Speaking of which, Inko had yet to speak with Mitsuki about Katsuki as she had been occupied. Still, it was strange having her son home after so long. And now he had to leave again. This time though she wasn't as bothered because he knew where he was. It had been made clear that she could visit Izuku, much to her relief. Izuku stood outside UA with Namasa. It was strange. A year ago, he would have been ecstatic to attend this school, and now here he was, only this time he had no desire to become a hero. Whatever lies ahead I will face it head on. This I swear to you, sensei, Izuku swore. Izuku was currently standing outside what appeared to be some sort of mansion with 1A at the center, to show which class would be living here. Heights Alliance the area was called, perfectly fitting in his opinion. He was here with Namasa beside him quite early in the morning. Or rather an hour before the other students would be arriving. They had yet to be informed of his presence, and no doubt it would be quite a shock for them when they did. Izuku, despite having decided to press forward, was nervous. He was rendering the very society that persecuted him, which drove him to try to commit suicide. In other words, he was in enemy territory, and there's no telling what could happen. Considering the past 2 times that students from UA were assaulted by the League, the security has likely increased drastically, Izuku thought, making it impossible to break in or out. And with so many pros here, there's very little chance of me be able to escape. Am I actually doing this? Izuku unknowingly said out loud. Unfortunately, yes, Namasa replied. He couldn't blame Izuku for acting the way he did. He was going to be spending every day with the person he hated most, and attending a school against his will. That would make anyone angry. Izuku Midoriya, I presume, came a deadpan voice. To his right, Izuku saw 2 figures. The first he recognized as Eraserhead. The second he recognized as Nezu, principal of UA, and the one who had admitted him to this school in the first place. Nezu and Eraserhead, Izuku announced so they wouldn't have to introduce themselves. So, you know our names. Well, that makes things simpler, Aizawa stated. My name is Aizawa and I'll be your homeroom teacher. Izuku made no response to that. Personally, he didn't mind having the underground hero as his teacher. It's a pleasure to finally meet you, young Midoriya, Nezu greeted. I've heard a great deal about you. Before anyone could do anything, Izuku faced Nezu and bowed to him. Not just as a sign of respect, but also as a sign of gratitude. And to you as well. Thank you for saving my life during that battle, Izuku replied. If you hadn't interfered I would most certainly be dead right now. Izuku had been informed by Namasa that it was Nezu who stopped the mini-pods during Sensei's battle with All Might. He was grateful to the principal for being alive. I should be thanking you. You helped our students out on more than one occasion, Nezu said. But enough about that. We need to get you sorted. So, let's give you a tour of where you'll be living. They all headed into the building where Izuku saw what it looked like for the first time. The ground floor contained a mess hall, a living room, with several sofas, chairs, a flat-screen TV, a kitchen area, fully stocked, bathing and laundry areas, gender segregated of course. Nezu explained where the dorms were and what they contained. These were bed, closet, fridge, toilet, balcony, desk and air conditioning. It was incredibly luxurious by Izuku's standards. You'll be staying on the 5th floor between Todoroki and Iida, Aizawa explained. Any problems with that? As long as I'm not near Katsuki I'm fine, Izuku replied. He's on the 3rd floor so you don't have to worry about him, Aizawa stated. Believe me, we know the full extent of your relationship, so that's why we'll keep you both as separate as possible. Izuku was relieved to hear that. He didn't mind being near Iida since he knew him from Hosu. They arrived at Izuku's room. There were boxes there already, so he was ready to unpack. That's all for now, so we'll let you get unpacked, Nezu declared. Thank you, Izuku said. The 3 figures exited the room leaving him alone. Seeing as how he had nothing better to do, Izuku started unpacking. When he finished he lay on the bed, which was quite comfy in his opinion. Tired and nervous about what was coming he fell asleep. I have to get back to the station, Namasa informed them. Please let us know if he gives you any new information. Of course, Nezu replied. Namasa then left. That went pretty well, don't you think? Nezu asked his colleague. It went okay. The other students have yet to arrive though, Aizawa pointed out. When they do, that's when it really begins. League of Villains. Tomoura's group. For the past 2 weeks, Tomoura and the others have been in hiding at one of Sensei's secret hideouts. An impressive feat all things considered. In addition to the police and heroes, Atrocity's group were now hunting them. It literally seemed as though the whole world was against them, and in some ways, it was. They needed to depend on one another to avoid being caught and to survive. Tomoura wasn't doing so well, unfortunately. Ever since the news about the break-in at Tartarus prison had gotten out, or specifically, ever since Sensei's death had been made public, Tomoura had fallen into a deep depression. He felt sad and broken that the very man who had given him a reason to live in this world again, who acted as a mentor father to him, was now gone. The others didn't know what to do about it. Kurogiri was a different story. He suggested that they leave Tomoura be because the only way for him to get through this was with time. He knew from personal experience. When his sister died, he had been in a similar position. For a while, he didn't know what he was supposed to do. He had claimed vengeance on the very person who tormented her, but after that, he was at a loss. It wasn't until Sensei recruited him that he had a new reason to live again. Hey, I just got off the phone with Giant, Compress said. He has some information he'd like to share with us, for free. Kurogiri flinched. Giant giving information for free was never a good sign. It usually meant that something serious had happened, or rather, something serious enough to scare him. He took the phone off Compress and started talking. What happened? Kurogiri demanded. Some terrible, Giant replied. His voice was filled with fear. I just found out. That man atrocity. He recently became a whole lot more dangerous. That information frightened Kurogiri. Tell me everything, he demanded. The Heights Alliance dormitories. Class 1A had just arrived at the dormitories and were very excited. From now on they would all be living together, and in a mansion to boot. They were all still troubled by the events that transpired over the summer. 2 of their classmates in Pro were kidnapped for terrible reasons. But Katsuki, they were concerned about when they heard why he was taken. They were horrified when they discovered why Mina was kidnapped. The very thought of it all was sickening, to say the least. Mina hadn't told them about Deku yet. She was planning to, but only after she had settled in here. Over the summer she heard about the break-in at Tartarus, and about Afo's death. Even though she hadn't known him that well, and despite who he was and what he had done, she felt sad for him. He was one of the reasons why she was still here after all. If he hadn't interfered when he did alongside Deku, then she would most likely be rotting away right now. She would never get the chance to say thank you for that. Class 1A's teacher greeted his students who in turn expressed their relief that he was still with them, after what happened at the press conference, which he was grateful for. He said something about provisional licenses, but skipped to a more important topic. This is important, so listen up. Todoroki, Kirishima, Yoyorozu, and Iida. On that night, the 4 of you went to that place to rescue Bakugo and Ashido. What's more, you did it with a vigilante, a criminal present. From what we've gathered, you all encountered her by chance. That doesn't change the fact that you still worked with her, Aizawa noted. The entire class, Mina and Katsuki excluded, gave them shocked looks. They knew about their little plan before, but they didn't think they would go through with it. To make matters worse, they had done it with a vigilante. Technically they were heroes, but at the end of the day, they were still criminals. It was also surprising to know that Iida had gone with them since he was the most against it before. Judging from all your looks, you all knew about this yet did not try and stop it. In that case, let me say this now. If the principal wasn't such a benevolent being, I would have expelled all of you, except for the kidnapped and the unconscious, he stated. The 4 of you who went without saying, and with the criminal, but with the students who knew about it but said and did nothing to stop them are just as guilty. Regardless of your reasons, the fact that you betrayed our trust remains. So, I suggest that you work towards restoring our trust in you. The students nodded in understanding. Now, to move on to the more important issue, Aizawa continued. That caught the students' interest. They wondered what was more important than their great crime. As you all may have seen during All Might's battle with the leader of the League, there was another villain present. One who was under attack by mini-pods and was captured alongside the leader, Aizawa said. The students nodded. They had seen that, but they were more focused on the bigger fight. Why was Sensei mentioning this now? Katsuki scowled at the mention of Deku since he didn't want to think about him. Mina and Tenyu were curious about why Aizawa was bringing him up. Well, due to recent events, that villain has been transferred here to UA. Or specifically, to this class where he'll be spending time and attending class with you, Aizawa explained rather bluntly. For a few minutes, there was complete silence. Then came their reactions. And they were strong. Are you serious? Kaminari shouted. You're letting a villain attend the same school as us, Hakuga piped up. Won't this be dangerous? Shoji asked. What if he tries to kidnap or kill one of us? Mineta yelped. Did ever even think about that? Sensei, what brought this on? Asui asked. Katsuki was furious at what he had just heard. Deku was being allowed to attend UA, even though he was quirkless, even though he was a villain. What the actual fuck? He shouted. He's one of the bastards who fucking kidnapped us. And you thought it was a good idea to bring him here. Why isn't he locked away like he deserves to be? Hold on a second, man, Ijiro said, placing his hand on Katsuki's shoulder to calm his friend. Maybe we should hear Sensei out first. Katsuki didn't listen and threw his hand off. Right now, he was angrier than usual. He wanted to yell at his teacher and demand an explanation, only for Mina to beat him to it. Hold on a minute. Izuku's coming here? She questioned. Aizawa nodded as a response. The entire class turned to stare at her. Jiro was the first to speak. You know him, Mina? She asked. Yes. Izuku, or Deku as he's called, was the one who rescued me from atrocity. He found me by accident, and when Muscular was about to take me to his boss, Izuku intervened and managed to gain custody of me. He couldn't let me leave, of course, but he didn't do anything terrible to me. In fact, he defended me on an occasion or two, Mina explained. Most of the class were completely shocked at what they had just heard. Mina was saved by a villain. Very few of them could believe it. Wait a second, Deku, he's Deku. Then that means, he's the one who saved me during the USJ incident, Ichako realized. Wait, you said his name was Deku, right? Does that mean he was the one who released you while the villains were dealing with Bakugo? Yoyorozu asked. Mina nodded in response. While the others were still scared about him, Yorozu was growing more curious about him. He defended me during the SJ incident, Achako murmured. All eyes turned to her. When one of the villains tried to rape me, he stepped in and stopped him. There were several gasps from the group of students. Hearing this boy had helped Mina was one thing, but hearing him help Achako was another. They were beginning to wonder whether he was really a villain at all. Why didn't you say anything before? Asui asked, horrified. Why didn't you come to any of us? We could have helped you get through it. I told Elena and All Might, who I'm guessing later informed the rest of the teachers, and later Tenya. I told my parents eventually, but after that, I never mentioned it again. I wasn't traumatized by it. I was mainly surprised at what had happened with Deku, Achako explained. As surprised as they were, Ida knew about it. Something Achako just said caught their attention. He was present at the USJ. Tokoyami questioned. Why yes, Achako replied. He's the one who defeated Bakugo. That one detail, that one description, was enough to frighten them. If this guy defeated Bakugo, then he must have been very dangerous. They all turned to look at the boy who was giving off a murderous expression that matched the one he made at the sports festival. Mina kept quiet. She knew about Izuku and Bakugo's history together, but it wasn't for her to talk about it. That was their story, not hers. She had no right to tell the others about it. I understand you are all nervous, but please understand, this was an official police decision. Therefore, we have no say in it, Aizawa pointed out. The students were still uncertain. Tenya was more curious. He had wanted to meet this boy for some time now. When exactly does he arrive and where will he be staying? Also, what's his full name? Tenya asked. He arrived an hour ago. He'll be staying on the 5th floor between Ida and Todoroki. And his full name is Izuku Midoriya, Aizawa answered in order. That surprised Tenya and Shoto, who was wary of the new arrival. Katsuki was still angry, however. Great. First, he beats me, next he talks smack about me, and now he just ruined me being the only student from our shitty school to get in here, he thought angrily. Deku, the next time I see you you're dead. Enough talk, Aizawa announced. Let's get on with the tour of the building. Kurogiri was in a state of terror. He hadn't been in a position like this for so long. The information Jiren had sent frightened him. In addition to having added the inmates of Tartarus to his ranks, Atrocity had also stolen all of Sensei's powers using some sort of device. How had he gotten a hold of this information? According to him, he received an anonymous tip from someone, but he didn't know who. He had yet to tell Tomura, though given everything he was going through, now wasn't the right time. Since they needed supplies, he decided to go out and get them. Normally he would have sent Toga to do this, but she was exhausted from the previous endeavors, so he would do it this time. The way he looked was too recognizable. Which was why, for the first time in 12 years, he would be using his original appearance. No one knew what he looked like, so it was perfect. The device around his body allowed him to remain in a mist-like form permanently, though it did serve as a weakness. While it could be turned off as he pleased, it did come with several benefits. For example, being immune to most physical attacks. Being mist meant it wasn't necessary for him to bathe. He also didn't age like other humans, if at all. Kurogiri headed into an empty room to do this and had a set of clothes at the ready. Being mist got rid of any clothes he wore when it happened, so he pressed a button on his device and deactivated it for the first time in years. As he did, the mist disappeared and the skin on his original body reappeared. He detached the device from his neck to see several marks on it, though that was to be expected. The sensation of feeling his skin again was strange. The texture his feet stood on felt foreign. It also felt strange to walk on them again. He stood in front of the mirror to see if his appearance had changed. His body was still tall and muscular. His eyes were the same green color, but his hair was of a darker shade of red, likely because of his quirk. His face hadn't changed at all. He still looked like the same person from when he was 20, his age when he took on that form. This was his true form. The form of Kuroshisa. The form he had long since abandoned. I haven't seen you like that in a long time, big brother, his sister's voice echoed in his head. I know, Laura, I know, he admitted. But this time I need it. Kurogiri quickly got changed into some civilian clothes, not the bartender ones he usually wore. Using his quirk, he opened a warp gate. Well, enough of that. It's time to get to work, he declared. UA dormitory's nighttime. The students of Class 1A had finished packing and were now relaxing in the living room area. The boys were discussing living together from now on. Hey Todoroki. While you were unpacking, did you meet the villain kid? What's he like? Sero asked. We didn't meet him at all actually, Tenya replied. He doesn't seem to have left his room since arriving. Yeah, Shoto added. To be honest, he didn't really care about the villain who was now living with them. He was just so relieved that he was living away from his abusive father. For the first time in his life, he wouldn't have to put up with the usual abuse he suffered. For the first time in his life, he was safe, or at least that's how he felt. After the sports festival, Endeavor had been furious with him for not using his full power. And after he had refused to work with him during the internships after the sports festival, things had gotten much worse. Flashback. Endeavor towered over his son in the training room. He blasted him with fire, but Shoto brought up an ice barrier to defend himself. It didn't do much good though, as it melted instantly. Endeavor was quickly in front of him. With no time to react, the older male punched the boy in the stomach and sent him flying. He then proceeded to kick and stomp on him repeatedly. Completely and utterly useless. I created you Shoto for one purpose, yet you refuse to carry it out, Endeavor spat. I thought I trained you to be strong, yet you're as weak as ever. Your mother's and eldest brother's fault, no doubt. Well, it's such a shame they aren't here to help you now. The boy just lay there, glaring up hatefully at the very man who caused him and his loved ones so much pain. How dare he mock his mother and brother? It was his fault that they were no longer here. I think your little tantrum has gone on long enough. So, as punishment for your recent acts of defiance, Endeavor started as he pulled up Shoto's t-shirt to expose his skin. The bruises from before had mostly faded. I'm going to make you understand your place in this household. Endeavor's hand hovered over Shoto's right side, his mother's side. He went pale at what was about to happen. After that there was screaming, lots and lots of screaming. Of course, nobody heard him. Flashback end. Shoto flinched at the memory. When he heard the school would be converted to a boarding school and he would be transferred there, it was one of the happiest moments of his life. His thoughts were interrupted by Sero continuing his speech. I see. Well, the idea of him living with us seems scary in my view, he said. Despite what Mr. Oz always says, it had been made clear that they weren't to make others aware of the new kid's status. It was made public that their parents were informed about his presence. I know, right? If he defeated Bakugo, he must have a powerful quirk, Denki piped up. Who knows what else he did for the league? The other males present, excluding Tenya, murmured in agreement. At that moment the girls, excluding Asui, arrived with an announcement. So, we were just talking and it's just an idea, but why don't we have a contest to show off our rooms, Mina suggested. At first, there was some reluctance, but eventually, everyone got into it. Some Tokoyami didn't want to showcase their rooms. Minetta's was ignored completely, for obvious reasons. Asui and Katsuki, who thought it was stupid, were resting in their rooms so they weren't inspected. They were all on the 5th floor now, and had just finished inspecting Todoroki's room after Iida's. People were still amazed at how he had just managed to transform his room into a traditional Japanese-style one in one day. They were about to go and inspect the girls' rooms when Mina and Ichako stopped outside Izuku's room. Oh guys, Mina called out. There's one left. As soon as they saw where she meant, their faces contorted into confusion, fear and anger. You're kidding, right? Denki said. You want to look at the villain kid's room? I don't think this is a good idea, Ojiro mentioned. The other students murmured among themselves. He's not as bad as you might think, Ichako said. How can you be so sure? Jiro asked. You've only ever met him once. Twice actually, Ichako corrected. The second time was during our trip to the shopping mall. We bumped into each other by accident and spoke a little. He didn't seem like a bad person. Though, I didn't know who he was then. That came as a surprise to the rest of the students. Izuku isn't really a bad person, Mina told them. And before you say otherwise, keep in mind I've known him longer than any of you have. No one had a counter for that. Tenya knew Izuku from Hosu, and wanted to agree with Mina and Ichako, but decided to remain silent. This is the guy who defeated Bakugo and you want to look at his room. What if he attacks one of us or uses his court to take someone hostage? Mineta yelped. I hate to admit it, but Mineta's right, Kirishima agreed. I get you both feel indebted to him, but that doesn't mean you can trust him. He did attack us along with the other villains during the USJ, Sato added. Now hold on a minute. Maybe we shouldn't be so quick to judge. Villain or not, he did save Uraraka and Ashido when they were in danger, Momo reasoned. Despite her reservations, she couldn't deny she was curious about the villain now living with them. You could hear about villains in class or online, but interacting with one was a different story. They lived the opposite lifestyle to them. You know we're going to encounter him eventually. Why not now? Shoto pointed out. The students murmured amongst themselves once again. They were still uncertain. At that moment, the door of Izuku's room swung open and he stood at the entrance. His sudden appearance surprised the students. He looked at them with an annoyed expression. You know, I'm not deaf, I can hear every word you're saying from in here, he informed them. Personally, he didn't want to interact with Class 1A, but since they wouldn't shut up outside his room, he may as well introduce himself and get it out of the way. Now that that's out of the way, what exactly do you want from me? He asked politely. At first, they didn't know how to respond. That's when Mina spoke up. We were in the middle of a contest to decide the best room, and we were hoping to look at your room as part of it, she said with a bright smile. Izuku's expression changed to a calm one. He didn't have a problem with Mina or Tenya. If that's all, then there's no issue, he answered. However, I should warn you. There's not much to see. He turned on the light so people could see what his room looked like. Much to their surprise, it looked ordinary. There were shelves with notebooks, pens, pencils, a laptop, and a phone. UA monitored all communications and online searches, so they could block them if they didn't like them. Expecting something different? Izuku asked in a dull voice. Honestly, we weren't sure what we were to be expecting, Tenya replied honestly. I thought it would be more evil looking, Toru said. What exactly do you take villains for? We're still humans with regular tastes and interests like the rest of you, he explained. No one had a counter for that. Though to be fair, none of them had ever really interacted with villains before, so they didn't know. This has the mark of a huge pervert, I'm telling you, Mineta stated while looking around suspiciously. Being one yourself, you'd know all about that sort of thing, wouldn't you? Izuku retorted coldly. Mineta flinched. What's that supposed to mean? He demanded. Izuku being a villain was irrelevant right then. At that exact moment, every girl present was on his side. What do you mean? He's right. They shouted while glaring at Mineta. The perplexed backed down, intimidated and terrified. Are you all satisfied, or is there anything else I can do for you? He offered. What kind of quirk do you have? Denki asked bluntly. You must have a powerful one if you defeated Bakugo. Izuku tightened his fist. Of course, they would think that. To them, it was the most important thing in the world. Well, time to surprise them. I don't have a quirk, Izuku admitted. I'm what you refer to as quirkless. There was silence. Izuku had anticipated this kind of reaction. He also guessed correctly on the next. Seriously, Kirishima yelled. No way. That's not possible, Siro shouted. A quirkless person beat Bakugo, Denki said in disbelief. I don't believe it. The other students said similar things. Though, there were some exceptions. Tenyu was surprised. I had my suspicions back in Hosu, but I didn't actually think he thought. Shoto, Ichako and Momo had similar reactions. Though they were more impressed with Izuku. Mina had already known, so she kept quiet. It's true, Izuku stated. Ask the teachers if you don't believe me. The students still couldn't believe it. The idea of a quirkless person being able to defeat one of their strongest classmates sounded impossible. Does that mean you beat him using martial arts and weapons? Ichako asked. She remembered to use the taser on one of the villains. Izuku nodded to confirm her suspicions. I still find it hard to believe a quirkless person beat Bakugo, Denki said. Well, believe it because that's what happened, Izuku retorted. It wasn't easy though. That made more sense to them. Is that all, or is there anything else you'd like to know? He asked. Surprisingly, no one had any more questions. I think that's enough for today, Momo said. Perhaps some other time. The majority of students wanted to leave and continue on with the contest. Momo believed he wouldn't be this open with them about everything so soon. Would you like to come with us? Ichako asked politely. The next set of rooms will be the girls' ones. Most of the class didn't like the idea of inviting him to join. Izuku was surprised at the offer himself. He was beginning to wonder if she was curious about him, since it was their first official meeting after all. And my last encounter involved flirting with her, he thought. Wait, why am I thinking about that now? No thanks, Izuku declined. It's been a busy couple of weeks for me and I'm still settling in. Thank you for the offer though. Ichako felt slightly disappointed when she heard that. Mina and Tenyu understood why he was staying and didn't argue against it. The other students didn't say anything and began to move out of the room. It was just Izuku on his own again. He lay on his bed trying to make sense of everything. How did I ever end up in this position? He pondered. The students who walked away had mixed feelings about their new classmate. Some didn't have a problem with him and in fact, were curious about him. Others thought he was dangerous and decided to keep their guard up around him. And others thought they could handle him because he was quirkless. The contest ended with Sato emerging victorious because he made some cake that all the girls loved. There was a conversation between Asui, Ichako, Shoto, Momo, Tenyu and Kirishima, where Asui expressed her guilt over doubting their plan to save Katsuki and Mina and apologized. They did the exact same thing for worrying her, thus mending their friendship. After most retired to their rooms and slept till morning, though some remained awake. Izuku couldn't fall asleep. He tried but, he just couldn't. He had a lot on his mind at that moment, and the uneasiness he felt from the situation wouldn't go away. This doesn't make any sense. I've been around dangerous people. I've nearly died many times. So why? Why does being here scare me? He asked himself. He sat up and got out of bed. He looked quickly around the room and decided he wanted to get out of it. He felt trapped there. In a certain sense, this was a prison, and this was his cell. Only it was far worse. Doubting that they'd punish him for being up late, Izuku went down to the living room area. It was 11, so no one was up, thankfully. He sat on one of the couches and stared outside. It was a full moon outside, that put him at ease. Some nights when he was with the League he wouldn't be able to sleep. This stemmed from nightmares about his past and his near-death experiences. So, to calm his nerves he'd head up to the rooftop in the building and look at the sky. The city was darker and quieter, which gave it a soothing presence. When he looked up he saw stars that were lit up, and the full moon was shining brightly. It was a truly beautiful sight. Izuku smiled at the memory. It might not have seemed like much to others, but to him, it meant a lot. He was so wrapped up in his thoughts that he didn't notice someone approaching. That person placed a cup on the table, alerting Izuku to his presence. He looked up to see Tenyu standing near to him with another cup in hand. The two stared at each other for a few seconds before Tenyu spoke. He seemed out of it, so I made you some tea, Tenyu told him. I hope you don't mind. Izuku raised an eyebrow. I don't mind at all actually. Thank you. By the way, are you just going to stand there or are you going to sit down also? Tenyu chuckled at that question and sat opposite Izuku. They both sipped their tea. In case you're thinking of asking, I won't tell your friends about our little adventure together in Hosu. Aizawa told me that was a secret. Also, I wouldn't want you getting in trouble with the law, Izuku informed him. Thank you. Aside from Uraraka, none of the other students knows, Tenya replied. Speaking of that, I suppose this is technically our first official meeting. Izuku couldn't help but agree with that. Tenya hadn't known who was then, so it wouldn't be their first meeting. What are you doing up so late anyway? Izuku asked. Couldn't sleep. That and I heard someone moving outside my room. So, I came downstairs, Tenya explained. I was actually hoping to talk to you. Izuku raised an eyebrow. Why? He asked confused. Do you have questions you want me to answer? A few, Tenya admitted. But, I also wanted to get to know you better. I've been curious about you since Hosu. That caught Izuku off guard. He hadn't expected that sort of response from Tenya. Wasn't he angry at him for the kidnapping scenario? Granted he didn't have anything to do with it, but still. Other than one question, I wouldn't ask anything personal, Tenya informed him. I would ask about your time with the League. That's something you should only talk about when you want to. Izuku was relieved that Tenya was so understanding. He didn't mind answering him. Go for it, he permitted. What is your relationship with Bakugo? Tenya asked. Izuku glanced at him surprised. Had Mina said something to him? I only ask because I get the feeling you two know each other. You specifically attacked him during the USJ. Also, during the hideout raid, you didn't attempt to recapture at the warehouse with the others. I was there during the battle with the others to get him back. The way you looked at him, you hate him. There was also that time in Hosu where you said, he's slightly less of a dick than he was before, meaning that you knew way before the USJ. Izuku couldn't deny he was impressed. Tenya had really thought it through. You're correct, on all accounts, Izuku admitted. I've known Katsuki since I was a child. He and I used to get along until he received a powerful quirk, and I was outed as quirkless. From there on out everything went to hell. I was bullied by him and others for years because I didn't have a quirk. So, naturally, when the opportunity to get revenge came I took it. I had nothing to do with the kidnapping though. I didn't even find out about it until shortly before it happened, and even then, I didn't know it was him. As you said, I hate him, so the last thing I want is for him to be in the same group as me. Unfortunately, that hasn't worked out so great. Tenya didn't respond to that. If things were as Izuku said, then it made sense for him to be angry. That brought him on to his next question. How exactly are you taking all this? Being here I mean, he asked. Izuku thought about this. Honestly, I don't know. A lot has happened to me recently. I saw Katsuki again and he hasn't changed a bit. I've nearly died several times. I saw my mother again and I saw her nearly die. Sensei, or Afo as you know him, was murdered and I'll never see him again. And to top it all off I'm here of all places alongside the person I hate most, and people who probably hate me for everything that's happened, he exclaimed. He was really emotional now. Tenya couldn't help but sympathize with him. He had been through a lot. I don't hate you. Neither does Ashido and Uraraka, Tenya reassured him. Those other students, give them time. They just don't know you yet. Izuku felt strange. No one had ever said that to him before. He felt almost relieved, almost. Thanks, and how's your brother doing? Izuku asked, wanting to change the subject. Tenya gazed at his cup sadly. He's doing okay. Still in the hospital but he's recovering, well mostly. He's paralyzed from his waist down, so he'll never walk again, and he'll be stuck in a wheelchair for the rest of his life. Despite this, he still remains as optimistic as ever, Tenya said. I've had Koichi, a friend of my brother's, to help me get through it. He and I have become really good friends as a result. Izuku narrowed his eyes. Koichi, could he be Crawler? He was a friend of Iida's brother. The last time he saw the man he hadn't gotten his name, he'd seen his face, but his name was a mystery. I'm so sorry to hear that, Izuku told him. It is what it is, Tenya replied. The most we can do is continue moving forward. Does your brother know about Hosu? Izuku asked. Oh yes, he knows everything. He berated me for being an idiot and gave me quite a lecture, but pulled me in for a hug while crying. While he wasn't happy about what I tried to do, he was relieved that I was still alive. If I had died or killed Stain, he would have been devastated, Tenya said. Izuku could relate to that. When his mother was in danger, when she nearly died right in front of him, he felt helpless and despair. Thankfully that didn't happen. But, upon hearing of Sensei's death, he felt pain was just as bad. I bet he would've, Izuku agreed. Speaking of which, how did your teachers react when they heard about it? The principal was angry with me, but Aizawa was furious with me. He might not look it, but he can be quite intimidating when he's angry, Tenya said while shuddering at the memory. I was lucky to not be expelled. I was lucky this time as well. Izuku laughed, much to Tenya's confusion. You know, for someone who wants to be a hero and likes rules and procedures, you're quite the rebel. Aren't you, Iida? Izuku teased. Tenya laughed. I guess you're right. Though I could say the exact same thing about you. Well, I definitely can't argue against that one, he agreed. They both drank their tea. Even though he didn't want to interact with Class 1A, he had to admit, Tenya's presence was rather comforting. Hey, I've been meaning to ask you this for a while. I mean, if we ever met again, Tenya started. Go on, Izuku urged. In your view, what are heroes and villains? Tenya asked. That question confused Izuku. What did Tenya mean by that? Shouldn't he already know? Up until now I thought I knew, but after Hosu I started to have different thoughts, Tenya explained. You're a villain yet you're actually a good person. Crawler is a vigilante, which is technically a villain, but he performs heroic acts. Stain is a criminal, yet he believes he's doing society a favor. Heroes such as Captain Celebrity and Mount Lady only care about fame and wealth rather than doing the right thing. Yet there are heroes like All Might and my brother who don't care about that sort of thing. The whole idea is very confusing for me, so that's why I would like to hear your opinion. Izuku thought hard about how to answer that question. He could understand why Tenya would ask such a question, considering everything he'd been through. As he thought about how to answer, only one came to mind. It's hard to describe what makes a true hero or villain. In today's society, heroes are people employed by the government to use their quirks in public to defend others. They act within the law. Villains are the opposite. They use their quirks in public despite what the government says. They act outside the law. In that sense, they are criminals, like me. However, it's important to know, heroes and villains are not the same as good and evil. Take me for example, I am a villain, however, I am not evil. Endeavor is a hero, yet he is not good. Does that answer your question? Tenya's mind was overwhelmed momentarily before it cleared. Suddenly it felt like the dots in the back of his brain connected all at once, and everything made sense. Yes, he answered. I never thought about it that way before. Thank you. No problem. A lesson I learned from Kurogiri is that good and evil aren't born, they are made, Izuku recited. Heroes and villains both have something that defines them for what they are. I have. Stain and Crawler do. And I'm guessing you do as well. Tenya was dumbfounded. That sentence, and that statement. Certainly, they were true. How had he never thought of it before? They sat there in silence for a couple of minutes until they finished their tea. Iida, thanks for talking to me. I feel better now, Izuku said. Tenya smiled at him. You're welcome. I'm glad I got to talk with you. It was a real eye-opener. The two got up and washed their cups before walking back up. I know you're not happy about being here since you didn't have a say in this, but give it time. You may like it here, Tenya said. I'm not sure, I'll have to think about that one, Izuku replied uncertainly. One more thing. Bakugo is probably, actually no, scratch that. He will definitely be vocal the next time he sees you, Tenya warned. Oh, I know he will. I'm ready this time though, Izuku countered. The two both laughed one final time and returned to their rooms where they slept until the next day. Thanks for listening. I do hope you enjoyed. If you want the next part of this video, like, subscribe and comment down below, and turn on the bell notification. And also check out other videos that I have created and enjoy. See you in the next video. Peace.